There's something very powerful about stealth development. All right, now what stealth development really is building a skill or mastering something behind closed doors and not sharing it with anybody, right? Specifically social media. Because most people act like mastery is a series of public wins, boom, 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 boom. Once you get it, people see, damn, this person is the greatest of all time. But the reality is a lot more lonely than that. So I'm just here to share with you. I'm trying to dismantle this myth of public progress, just to show you how the sharpest edges are developed behind closed doors. Right? Real growth requires a solitary habit of failing in the dark before you allow the world to see the light that you've developed. I hate cliches, and I know that kind of sounds like a cliche, but it's about stealth development. So a lot of growth is slow progression mixed with continuous failing. I'm gonna say that again. A lot of the growth you're ever going to have, the skills that are, I guess you would call the most peaked, they are slow progressions mixed with continuous failing. So you're not going to be growing fast and you're going to be failing a lot. That is one of the main reasons you want to keep everything behind the closed doors. Because when you fail in public, it hits you differently. It hits everybody differently. You pretend it's game time, and all of a sudden, you fail. People see that. But if you fail in private, no one sees that. That allows you to focus on what you can learn from that one failure. Have you ever, and this is a genuine question, I want you to, after I say it, pause and actually ask yourself, do you ever find it curious that very successful people, not just in sports, but in every endeavor, very successful people in their endeavor, talk about failing all the time? If you were to, follow those documentary type videos, movies, series, and you see the work ethic they put in, and you see them messing up all the time, but you're like, wait a second, when it's game time, you don't do that, you don't mess up, because they're failing first so that it doesn't happen when it matters most, right? I'm going to share something with you, a quote that was shared with me that I took it into sports, into fitness, business, my life, right? Practice doesn't make perfect. I know, kind of contrary to what people say, but practice doesn't make perfect. Practice makes permanent. Okay, perfect practice makes perfect, right? So what is the idea behind it? And the idea is this. If you are playing a sport, let's take hockey, for example. I'm a big hockey fan. And you want to become the best person in the world for the slap shot. Oh my God, my slap shot's 100 miles an hour. It's crazy. If you just continuously take slap shots, you might understand the feel of the puck. You might get a better grip of the stick, whatever. But if you're not trying to perfect the shot every time it hits your stick, you're making permanent bad habits. Now, to take it one step further, failure is the goal. And I'm not trying to be mysterious or deep or profound. I'm trying to say it with a little bit of context, and that's it. Let you do the work. Okay. Failure is the goal. And why is it the goal? It's the goal when you're practicing. Failure is the goal when you're practicing, so you can figure out how to get around it. So when it's game time, you know how to deal with that. Is that simple? Focus on the craft that you're building. Right? If you're focusing on the craft and you're like, I don't care about the money that comes with it. It comes when it comes. It'll be as much as it's going to be. I don't control that. Let me focus on the actual skills, the growth. Let me develop this in silence. And if you can't get your mind around it, pretend maybe that you're in an anime or a video game or a movie, and you are the character who's going to come out of nowhere. Where the hell? Yeah, have you ever seen those shows where, let's say it's an action movie and somebody comes up, like, where was this guy? Where is this? This guy's powerful as hell. This guy's strong as hell. Where has he been the whole time? He's like, oh, he's been training. Yeah, no shit, he's been training. He's crazy. Be that guy. Be that girl. Be that person. All right? You don't have to flex. Practice, right? Don't be like those people who are in a boxing ring and they show you all their training and it turns out they get knocked out. I'm not throwing shade at anybody, by the way, but don't be that kind of person. Focus on the craft. Develop your skill in silence. Stealth development allows you to fail without people like harming you and your mentality. It allows you to find out what you need to work on. And it allows you to progress faster because you're not worried about posting the perfect photo on Instagram, perfect video on TikTok. You're not focused on that. You're focused on building and growing. That's literally the goal. If you want to be the best at something, you have to practice 10,000 plus hours. And if you're focused half that time on posting, you're practicing on social media or letting people watch you practice, you're missing the whole point. Hidden growth creates a level of resilience that cannot be replaced by those who only work when they're being watched. You work, you fail, you work, you fail. You're just so consistent. You grow, you become relentless, resilient. You're the dog that won't quit. Versus somebody who has to have cameras when they're practicing. Do you see how insanely different that is? You care about the work, the growth. They care about the look. And then they get mad when you beat them and you surpass them twofold. And I'm not going to say it's going to be as exciting as, those who are posting online, right? They're probably getting more attention. But when you come out, they'll look at you like you're an overnight success. And then the people who are posting are going to be wondering what you're doing differently. And the reality is you're just doing everything you humanly can to be the best or to master a skill that no one else has. Right? So, it's just overall in conclusion, I say give it a try. If you're doing something, practice it in silence. Just practice. And if you fail, see that as a win. I know that's really counterintuitive from what we kind of been taught, but failure, if you can acknowledge and understand it, is a growth tool. You have to learn how to fail. And I highly recommend it. It's helped me in sports. It's helped me in my athletic career. It helped me in life. And I think that you should give it a try. Because who knows?